Hello. I wanted to make a video for a while now, but last few days I wanted to make a video on this subject of the UK, at least. Like I was focusing on kind of the domestic kind of situation in the UK, and when this country was going to get a kind of was going to kind of reveal its true face, right, and get a girl boss prime minister. And I think I have this image of, like, you know, the kind of quintessential girl boss becoming a prime minister. And I don't mean, you know, a female prime minister like, you know, whatever it was, Liz Truss, or what's the other one, Theresa May, because they were kind of vaguely, I mean, I don't think they were, I don't know, however you judge them, they were vaguely reasonable, or vaguely kind of normie-like, right? You know, vaguely, yeah, just vaguely, they're just not zealots. They didn't come across as complete zealots, you know, even though they are politicised, obviously. I was thinking of the true kind of girl boss, you know, the kind of nightmare female manager, that if anyone's ever experienced, if any man has ever experienced, doesn't want to experience ever again, and does everything to avoid it. And I was thinking to myself, this may happen like on a national level, you know. It almost happened in the United States twice, with Hillary Clinton and the other one, Kamala Harris, and it never really fully. It was obviously stopped by Trump, and Trump is, you know, he's a different kind of boss, isn't he? You know, but he's not a girl boss. And I thought to myself, you know, the UK doesn't have a Trump figure, or maybe it does, but it doesn't have one that is close to being elected. So the girl boss kind of prime minister, or, you know, the completion of the girl boss movement will happen, maybe, most probably, in the UK. And I said this in previous videos, that I thought it was most likely to be someone like Shabana Mahmood, you know, the kind of, basically a female ethnic, you know, who would tick all the boxes of the kind of quintessential DEI girl boss, and that she would, you know, be the real kind of the moment, you know, the whole nation, the whole Western, well, no, not the Western world, but the entire nation, the entire UK would learn what it's like to be under the tyrannical control of the girl boss. And she has, like, pretty much, you know, shown herself to have that kind of mindset with her, like, talk of, you know, the wanting to create a sort of digital panopticon surveillance state. I think she's on record. She said that in some conference with Tony Blair, apparently, saying, oh yeah, you know, she wanted to, like, do this sort of Jeremy Bentham style digital panopticon surveillance state, and she said it, like, bluntly, and I think it made some news articles. So that's the kind of prediction I had, that's what's on the horizon. Because if you think about it, like, to me, like, guys like Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister that's currently in place in the UK, and any kind of white male leadership, corporate leader, is sort of a fig leaf of what's going on underneath, which is basically this huge DEI hiring drive, which is mainly women. You know, there are some, you know, ethnic minorities as well, but it's ethnic minorities and women. And so eventually that element is going to reveal its face, and the fruition of that movement will be revealed. And so, yeah, that's basically all I had to say. Was like, you know, when is that going to happen? I wonder, you know, how long it will take, because it looks like that's basically inevitable at this point. but it seems to be something that will have to happen when this country or any Western country becomes, economically, gets in trouble economically, right? So when a country like, so for example, with this oil issue in the Middle East, right? If that creates some sort of economic crisis, or it compounds into some other crisis, and there's an issue with the economy, well, all these people in the corporate and in the public sector, are gonna want to maintain their lifestyle, so their salaries are gonna have to match whatever inflation happens, and that will further, I guess, inflate. Cause for more inflation, because I think at least the public sector is, like, according to guys like Rupert Lowe, around 50% of the economy. So yeah, as things get more difficult, as if there is like a sort of breakdown in in currencies, like the dollar or the pound sterling, then this class of people, this corporate class of consumers, made up mainly of women and ethnic minorities, but women mainly, will become more kind of tyrannical. They're going to want to kind of consolidate their power, and that's going to, I guess, manifest itself into a surveillance state. That's the theory. That's the theory I have. That's where we're heading. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, just to kind of give an overview of what I expect to happen. Yeah, and I mean, it's not something that I've studied in any kind of like detail, in any kind of granular detail, and got facts and figures out, because a lot of the time you never really get the full image. I just base it on what I've seen and experienced, and the general sense I get of all these I guess forces evolving into their final form, right? So yeah, I'm not sure what I've to say about that other than what I've just said. But yeah, you get a lot of alarmist kind of content, and it does look like it's already heading in that direction. If you look at like the army in Germany saying, "Oh well, now it looks like we're going to want to get." Oh, I think they've already legislated for men to have to get permission from either the army or the government to leave the country for more than 3 months. You got all sorts of videos on social media of people wanting to leave the country. I've made videos like that where I've spoken about me wanting to leave the country, and I do actually think about that, especially this country, because I think the UK is particularly bad, or that's the impression I get. But maybe I'll go abroad, like in France and all the rest, and find out that it's just the same old crap. Yeah, that's what I'm doing basically. My since I've experienced the kind of tyrannical situation of working under a tyrannical female manager, I know what it's like, and I can see that that's like not a trend that's slowing down. So I'm thinking about developing, I don't know, basically taking kind of gig type work. It's going to have to be probably crap jobs at first while I change career, because graphic design and all that, it's just it's not a good choice, I think, for a serious career. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope you liked the video, anyone who's watching, and yeah, until next time, cheers.